In a world obsessed with clicks, likes, views, we talk about the pitfalls of the spotlight. Let's talk about that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk About That, McNairy County's greatest podcast.
The best.
The best. Oh, didn't y'all heard that voice? Y'all done heard that voice? We got Pastor Whitley back.
I'm back. Not by popular demand, but I'm back anyways.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
I can hear him now. Get the other guy back.
Get the other guy back. Replace the other guy.
Free Barabbas.
We want Pastor Whitley. We want Pastor Whitley and the other guy back. Get rid of the bum.
No.
Done. Make it so, number one. Alrighty. Today's. Here we go again already. Today we are talking about the pitfalls of the spotlight. So I think this is going to be fun.
It is going to be.
More than anything.
It's going to be very enlightening.
I couldn't find the button. I was like, which one was it?
Button. Who's got the button?
Who's got it? All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and knock this out and start this off with the jokes of the week.
What do you?
You're already laughing.
What do you call a joke that isn't funny?
Daniel Scott.
A sentence. A lawyer told a judge, "My client is trapped in a penny." The judge said, "What?" The lawyer said, "He's innocent."
Innocent.
My teachers always told me I wouldn't amount to anything because I always procrastinated. So I told them, just you wait. You know what they say about a clean desk?
What?
It's a sure sign of a cluttered desk drawer.
Yes.
And finally, how does NASA organize a party? They plan it.
Oh, that is great.
Oh, it's good to be back.
It is so good. All right. Thank you all for joining us on Let's Talk About That, McNairy County's greatest podcast.
It has been.
Got my smooth jazz voice. For you, it's been
weeks.
3 weeks
3
now.
weeks.
3 weeks now.
Wow.
Because y'all were on vacation.
Yeah.
And then
And that was the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Then last week, well, there was that
Yeah, there was that.
fishing episode.
There was God,
Spelunking, more like it.
there was things going on.
Things.
But we had a great time.
It was
Caleb did a good job. Maybe we need to
I really enjoyed it.
get him back in for some more content.
Really
Maybe
enjoyed
we can talk him into coming in as a permanent third party member.
it. Yeah, I would like to really, can I ask the questions?
Especially then, yes. Because we got someone smart enough to answer them.
Come on now. Come on now.
Oh, boy. All right. I guess we can go ahead and dig into this topic. But yeah, so again, talking about a world obsessed with clicks, likes, shares, views. How many views can I get? How many posts can I get? How many podcasts can I get? How much attention can I get from social media and the internet? All about the spotlight, all about getting the eyes on me, getting all these things happening. But today we talk about that and how that necessarily isn't a good thing and how it affects us as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus. And
that's good.
We dig into that and see what that means for us. So let's go ahead and start with the first question. Why is the spotlight so tempting?
Oh, man. It is.
And we've allotted you at least half an hour for this first question.
Okay, good.
Because this is a big one.
I have 2 lines for my answer, so we'll see.
We'll take it.
Usually I take 15, 20 minutes per line, so well, extemporaneous speaking here.
We got it.
The spotlight is tempting to a lot of people because everybody else finally sees us.
So what you mean is that the spotlight is very enticing for the middle child.
You know, I think that the middle child often, when I say us, I didn't mean the middle child.
No, I didn't even think about that.
No,
I just meant like
I am
the
middle child.
Yeah, you are. True. I forgot about that. Sorry.
So I think, I can't speak for the firstborns. And I can't speak for the lastborn. But I can say most middle children. No, I can't say that. I'll get in trouble.
That's fair.
Well, we're used to never knowing what the spotlight looks like. We're used to being left out of everything. So count the pictures. Just count the pictures. That's all I want you to do. Count the pictures.
Do you think Kevin McAllister was a middle child?
Kevin. Oh, that's a Home Alone guy, right?
Yeah. Because he was literally left. Everybody left him on vacation.
Man. Twice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's tempting because people finally get to see us. There's a lot of people that are saying, and maybe even somebody listening is saying right now, if only somebody could see my potential.
Yeah.
If only
that's good.
If maybe you've got a job application put in somewhere and you're like, man, if they could just see how hard of a worker I am, if somebody would just shine the light on me for just a minute, some doors would start opening. There would be opportunities that come my way. I've even heard people say, if I ever got the opportunity to speak at such and such place, my schedule would be full. And I was like, what? I was like, seriously?
Wow.
I was like, you do know that could go both ways there, buddy. You may never preach in public again.
Wow.
Thank God you're a pastor. You might not get called to preach anywhere.
Talk about a revelation. Good Lord.
That goes both ways. But it's tempting because sometimes we feel like we have abilities or talents that we can display, or we've put a lot of time and effort, money into skill and talent and practice, planning, preparing, school, whatever, education, and getting ready. Well, the spotlight reveals all of those things and shows, hey, this is how. And I don't mean to just dive into this first thing, but at the same time, people finally get to see us, but it's also dangerous because people get to see us.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of this was inspired with you talking about this the other night. It was great.
So we're never going to be 100% perfect, but you have to understand that the spotlight is going to reveal character flaws like nothing else will.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're in the spotlight.
And this right here may really lead into our next question too.
While you're doing that, I'm going to look up scripture.
Yeah. Because the next question is going to be talking about that identity. And some people only have an identity when they're in that spotlight. But anyways, but so many people, going back to talking about the social media aspects of it, they portray and put on the show, especially a lot of your more, I guess, famous people, they have their whatever, their show name, their fake name, whatever you want to call that, the stage name. They have this whole persona created just for that spotlight. And then when maybe you personally know them and then they're 100% different than they are when they're in that spotlight, but they're in that spotlight for the clicks, for the views, for, for all the attention that they get on themselves. But yeah.
So Ecclesiastes 10:1, I think this does a great job of showing us whenever you're in the spotlight. I think it's a great comparison. Ecclesiastes 10:1, dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor, so doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor.
Yes.
So this writer of Ecclesiastes is saying the higher you go in leadership, the less room you have for folly.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
The less room you have for making immature remarks.
Yeah.
Having these
free time.
Immature character flaws.
Yeah.
The spotlight reveals those flaws. So let's say that you've preached. Let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example.
It's good.
Let's just say that a person has preached several times in their local church.
Yeah.
So you've preached, a handful of times in the local church, and there's always a what we would deem a great response to your preaching.
Yeah.
So, okay, somebody says, "Hey, will you come preach this youth service for us?" Well, now you go to this other place and you're preaching. Well, now what people didn't know was all those messages that you preached at the home church, you had plagiarized from somebody else. Well, now you're feeling the pressure because now I can't plagiarize because now it's going to be streamed on Facebook Live and it's going to be on YouTube and it's going to be all these other places. And now I'm going to be in front of other people and maybe even the person I plagiarized from is going to be there,
Oh, boy.
So now that the spotlight is on you, you can't pretend to be somebody else.
Right.
Because who you are is really going to be revealed in the spotlight. So the next move you make, you say, I want to be in the spotlight. Okay, well, can you handle the spotlight?
Man.
Can your character handle being in the spotlight?
That will preach.
If you're on a surgical table or whatever, you're in a surgery room, in the operation room, they're going to have spotlights everywhere.
Yeah.
They're going to have surgical lights. I mean, it's going to be, and they are seeing every single thing.
Yes.
And that's how it is in the spotlight. People are going to be examining every area of your life. So while at the onset of it, we might have the idea, well, if I could be in the spotlight, people could see me.
Right.
I think the older we get, and I was a very frustrated young minister because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who God wanted me to be.
Right. That's good.
I don't preach like anybody else. I don't teach like anybody else. And that's kind of frustrating because all these people that I looked up to as good preachers and good teachers, I'm like, well, I don't do it like them, so therefore I must not be effective.
Oh.
I don't do this, I don't do that. So there's that comparison thing. And I remember being 17, 18 years old and feeling like there was a call of God on my life to ministry, but never having certain opportunities to minister. So I dove into home Bible studies. Well, now looking back at 34 years old, I realized that was the best thing that could have ever happened.
Yes.
Was that good. Doors never opened. And I thank God every day that they didn't, because there were so many things then that I needed to be rooted and grounded and established in that, I might have wavered during those first few years.
That's good.
Living for God, And I saw so many people, even my age, that it seemed like they rose to the top, but are no longer even in the apostolic movement.
Yeah.
And now I look and I'm like, I'm not looking for a platform. I'm not looking for, opportunities. I'm not saying, oh, I wish people would call me. I wish somebody would ask me to come. No, because I realize at this point that it's not about being in the spotlight. It's about your motivation.
Yeah.
And it's about, okay, can I serve wherever I'm planted? Can I serve in the local church? Can I, whatever. Can I serve? How can I serve my community? So I have to, 17, 18 years later, look back and say, thank God the spotlight wasn't available, and I was never in the spotlight. especially in those early years, because I could have caused myself irreparable harm and also to other people because I simply was not mature enough to handle some of those things. And maybe we talk about more of that at a different time.
Yeah, but I think that's such a good point. Really driving the point here to the temptation to the spotlight is what you said. Is in ministry or anything really is that you see your I hate to say idols, but just for lack of better words, your icons, the people that that you look up to, your role models. And
they've influenced your life. So,
yeah, and you're like,
they've affected you.
And it's such an easy thing to get swayed into because then you're like, well, look at them, they're in the spotlight, and it's turned them into such a great person. Maybe it can do that to me, but it's not the spotlight, like you said. It's not the spotlight that turns you into the good person. It's the hard work, it's the dedication, it's the work that you put in before you ever get to the spotlight.
That's right.
Next question. Why does the spotlight paint a picture that it can provide us some kind of identity?
I think you really just hit the nail right on the head with what you were just saying about those people that we really respect.
Yeah.
Those people that we look up to. The spotlight paints a picture that, if I can say it this way, that the spotlight is what makes us who we are.
Yeah, you said that so much better than I did.
No. I'm just saying what you said. That it shows that somehow that the spotlight itself is going to transform us into that person that we wish that we were.
Right, exactly.
When in reality, the spotlight does not do that. The spotlight only brings out who we already are.
Right.
So
that's good.
If I am immature, it's only going to bring out the immaturity.
Right.
Now, as a mature individual, they will go into the spot. I'm not saying I'm a mature individual. That's not what I'm saying. But a mature individual, and I've said it before, there are times when I'm preaching and teaching, and I'm very critical on myself. I'll go back and listen to our church podcast, and I will make notes about myself. Is there something in the way that I'm speaking or communicating that would be distracting or would detract away from the message I'm trying to convey? Thinking about all those things. Is there something that's taking the spotlight off of Jesus and putting it on me? Because if so, that's not who I've intended to be. That's so good. It's a check and balance. So, but I think that the idea gets in our head somehow that if we can make it to the spotlight, if we can make it to the big stage, that somehow we will become those people that we've always looked up to.
Yeah.
Those people that we say, those are my heroes. And I think that the danger comes in thinking that the spotlight just transforms us into those people, but it doesn't. They were that person before there was ever a spotlight. And then their faithfulness and consistency, opportunity arose. Somebody looked at their life and said, this person is an effective biblical preacher or teacher, whatever. And it afforded them the opportunity to speak on a public platform where they could have influence because they were prepared.
That's good.
It wasn't because they had 10,000 followers on Facebook. It wasn't because they had 10 million people like their post.
Boom. Yes.
I'm not saying and we're going to cover that in a little bit, but that was not their deciding factor. They chose to follow Jesus, and in following Jesus, there were opportunities afforded them because people could look at them and they said, okay, here's a man or woman that's willing to let God use them in any platform whether it's a social media platform or local church platform, community platform, whatever, general conference platform, whatever. They said, this is a man or woman that's willing to let God use them.
Absolutely.
However he wants to use them. And so that opened a lot of doors for a lot of those people. And we can't get that backwards and think, if I ever just get my big shot. No, you get your big shot every single day when you decide whether or not you're going to be faithful, even in the little things.
Woo! Yes.
That's the big shot. Because those,
man, that's good.
Maybe you will have major influence on the big stage. I don't know. But that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be to be an effective minister wherever you are, whatever that looks like. If you don't even, I'm not even speaking respectfully of ministry as much as I am saints in general.
Yeah.
You may never be on a literal platform, but even at your job, with your coworkers, you have a platform.
Your neighbors.
That's exactly right.
The people that you have the opportunity to do Bible studies with, like you said.
Absolutely. There's that temptation or that illusion that maybe I can finally become somebody if I'm in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Well,
man, that's good.
Did we talk about Brother Johnny James a few weeks ago?
It sounds familiar.
We should do it again. It just keeps coming back to me, and it's great. He was talking about how people that he said you can't be anybody else. And Brother Tenney always used to say, you can't be anybody else. He said, be yourself.
Yeah.
You can't be anybody anyways. They're already taken. So just be yourself. But Brother Johnny James said, he said, if you try to be somebody else, you can never be that person. And you're trying to be that person, so you're not yourself, so you're nobody.
Yeah.
And he said,
oh, that's good.
He went on and on and on. It was just great. And in the way that only Brother Johnny James could. So it was fabulous. But you know what? It really hit me that if you're trying to be somebody else, you're not you, and you're never going to be them. So therefore, you are nobody. And if you, and he went on, he's like, no, if you're not you, and you're not them, and you're not who you want to be, and you're not who you're supposed to be, then you're still nobody. So he just went on and on and on,
Yes.
The only way you
That's
are,
so good.
And I don't want this to be taken wrong, but the only way you are somebody is if you are somebody, if you are yourself in Christ.
Yeah.
It's the only way we ever become anybody is if we are in the body of Christ.
Exactly.
And that's really what matters. The spotlight really is an illusion. Maybe we could say it's a mirage.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And we desire the spotlight when we are in a desert of isolation and we feel like we have been deserted in the desert, and we feel like that if I can just get in the spotlight, that it will create all of this blah that I want. That
if I can reach 10,000 followers, then I'll be able to obtain.
I'll be accepted.
Yeah.
I'll be liked. It's interesting. And
that's good.
We've talked about this before. Every one of us have gotten those copy and paste messages, text messages. Now, if you do this, don't take offense. I'm just giving you the psychosis here. The psychology of it is the reason we do that is because we like to hear the notification bell. We are addicted not to the actual response and reading the responses, but we are addicted to receiving a notification.
Man,
that's why we can be walking across the yard and we feel like, oh, I think I heard my phone, or my phone just vibrated in my pocket. And you take out your phone and you flip it open. Well, you don't flip it open. You just whatever you do.
You're revealing your age. Technically, yeah, they've come back.
So Pastor Lambert had one.
They've come back.
He had the screen that folds.
Yeah, you have the flip phone, which is like a regular cell phone, smartphone that folds in half. So it's like half as long.
Yeah,
but unfolds out. Then you also have the fold phones, like you talk about.
Yeah, that's what he had. That was crazy.
And I know you're an Apple fan. The rumor is there's going to be an Apple fold phone at some point.
Oh wow, I don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it'd be like having a mini iPad.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
Anywho, it's very cool though.
So we have to understand that a lot of that is a mirage. A lot of people that are in the spotlight. One person that was in the spotlight in the Bible, since this is a Bible based podcast.
Oh yeah,
let me bring the Bible back here. I know we got some Bible questions here in a minute, but one person that sticks out is Elijah.
Yeah,
he was in the spotlight, but what happened to him immediately after the spotlight? he ran and hid.
Couldn't take it.
He entered into one of the most depressing phases of his life. He's like, he even prays, God, let me die. Take my life.
After having one of the biggest battles and wins of his life.
So
it's wild.
You had 450 prophets of Baal, 400 prophets of the Grove, Jezebel's prophets that prophesied specifically exactly what she wanted to hear. And, he was executioner that day. He not only did he call down fire from heaven, but executed 850 false prophets. He does all of that. The heavens are shut up. It doesn't rain for 3.5 years. Yet Jezebel just sends word, and
he's gonna come get him.
And he runs and hides. She couldn't do anything to him, even if she wanted to. I mean, the sword would work on her just like it did on the 850 prophets, false prophets. Yet that one letter, the one word that was sent to him, he runs and hides and says, "My life is not worth living." What? But people oftentimes don't see what happens when the spotlight is turned off. So the spotlight cannot stay on our life forever.
No, definitely not.
Even if it's on for a little while, at some point the spotlight is going to be turned off. And the hardest part of mountain climbing is not climbing the mountain, it's the descent.
Yeah, you're right.
So a lot of people can handle the ascent, even to the pinnacle, and then they're in the spotlight. And a lot of people's character can even handle the ascent. It can handle the being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But can it handle the descent? Can it handle when the spotlight is moved to somebody else and it's no longer on them? The spotlight cannot stay on one person forever.
That's good.
So that's some things to really think about. Our identity does not come from the spotlight. It comes from Christ. It does not come from the fan club. If you have not read Brother Doug White's first book, If I Had to Do It All Over Again, you need to buy it, and maybe that's our book of the day. You need to read at least the chapter where he talks about not believing your fan club. So If I Had to Do It All Over Again, he talks about some things he did right.
That's good.
And some things he did wrong. And one of the things he said he did right was, he said he never believed his fan club. He said,
that's awesome.
Those same people that put you on the pedestal are the ones that will crucify you on the cross.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Don't ever believe the fan club.
Man.
Our identity does not come from them. All right, that's it.
So our next question, is the spotlight dangerous for people who are following Jesus?
Can I say yes and no?
Yes.
Yes.
And no. The people say yes.
The people say yes.
The people in this little box.
I remember it. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Oh my goodness.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. Wasn't that it?
I think that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I remember the Latin, but not the actual translation.
Yeah, I think that's the actual translation.
So all that matters is the voice of the people. Is the spotlight dangerous? Yes and no. I'd say it's dangerous if we're using it for the wrong reason.
Right.
If we are using it to promote us, then absolutely it's dangerous.
Yes.
Because I think we can get to the place where we're so full of ourselves that Christ has no room left.
Yes.
Instead of being filled with the Holy Ghost, we're filled with human spirit. We're filled with ego. We're filled with pride, whatever. And then once you're filled with all that other junk, there's no room left for God.
Right.
There's no room. So I think it's dangerous if it's used for the wrong reason. Now, at the same time, it's a great resource if we're always pointing to Jesus and using it to promote the gospel. So what's the point? What's the purpose for wanting the spotlight? Most of the time when people say, I want to be, move over and give me a little bit of that limelight. They want it for themselves. But I think that a mark of maturity is when we say, I don't want the spotlight unless I can promote Jesus.
Yeah.
Unless I can propagate the gospel, I have no reason for it.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
I think, and a matter of fact, I think you may have said something along these lines, but it shifts the focus.
Oh, yeah.
It shifts it from, we're trying to, or it can be, that's where the danger, I think, comes in, is it can shift it from being a focus on Jesus to I preached really good. I did that.
Yeah.
Or I was able to help these people. I was able to do that. And that shift of focus can be extremely dangerous, I think.
Absolutely. But I think it's a great resource if, and maybe we need to define, how much time do we have? Maybe
all the time in the world.
Maybe if we could just take a few minutes and define what the spotlight is.
That sounds good too.
Maybe it's harder to identify if we have a desire to be in the spotlight if we can't identify what the spotlight is.
Right.
Maybe we want to be in the spotlight, but we don't even know what the spotlight is, so therefore we're saying, no, I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Oh, that's good too.
So, no, I don't want to be in the spotlight, but I do, but I just don't know what the spotlight is.
Yeah.
So last Sunday afternoon, we addressed, we went over yearly platform guidelines and all that. And, there is an opportunity for that Lucifer spirit, for pride to be lifted up anytime we are on the platform.
Yeah.
Singing, playing, preaching, teaching, whatever.
Yes.
It can be, oh, look how talented I am. Look how skilled I am. Look how even anointed I am.
Oh.
Look how much biblical knowledge I have. I really think if we get to the root of the problem, that was why Paul was given a thorn in the flesh. He said, lest I be exalted above measure.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I think it was because he had spent 3 years in the Arabian desert. Jesus Christ had revealed himself to Paul. And, Paul was in the best rabbinical school. He was a Pharisee of Pharisees. He knew the law. I mean, nobody could dispute that. Paul was a genius when it came to, Jewish history and the law and so on and so forth. So I think it would have been easy for Paul to say, I know more than everybody in this room. I'm the smartest guy in this room, or whatever,
Right.
And he said, no, but I was given a thorn in the flesh. Lest a messenger of Satan to buffet my soul, lest I be exalted above measure. So,
man, that's good.
The buffeting is often necessary.
Yeah, it really is.
I have no idea where we were going with that, but
the definition of the spotlight.
Oh yeah, the definition. So what do you consider? Oh, let's reverse the roles just a little bit. What do you consider the spotlight?
The spotlight. See, I don't like this. The spotlight could be where the focus lies, because there is also the intent of the spotlight, which is to reveal things, depending on which way, or really both ways. Because if you're talking about like a show, then the spotlight is to address the main focus of the show, where you have the choir going and you have all the dancers and all these other things going on, but you have the focus of the point of it on your main cast member for, whatever that scene is.
Yeah.
So that spotlight, and that's a good way to look at it too. The spotlight, like you said, can't always be on us. It's got to shift. It's got to move. It's got to be on other things.
Yeah.
It's got to be turned off from time to time. And the danger in that could come in where we get so used to the spotlight.
Yeah.
And when the spotlight is taken off of us, how do we cope? How do we handle? How do we work with it?
Sure. So would you say that the main character in a play is going to be the one that has the spotlight on them?
I would say they have it the most.
The main character in each scene, is going to be the one.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
So if the world is a stage, the spotlight really should always be pointed to Jesus.
100%.
So Sister Whitley said last Sunday afternoon, she was talking about John Baptist and how he said, I must decrease that he might increase.
Yeah.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks.
It was good. It was real good.
It was great. And I really, in that moment, I was really contemplating, exactly what was going on there. And it was almost like I was impressed in my spirit that, even when we're in the spotlight, there should be transparency.
Yeah.
To where they don't see us, even though it's us that's there, but they see Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I used to say a direct reflection of him, and maybe I should still say that, but I really like the analogy of, well, I'm just going to be so transparent that they see through me to see him.
Yeah. I like that analogy.
I'm just the the mouthpiece, or the representative that leads them even through communication with my mouth, through preaching and teaching, that leads them to God. So
it's the glass jar.
Yeah.
The glass jar that contains, we were talking about glass jars a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That contains your canned peaches. I don't know. I can't come up with something. What canned apples? I don't know. Whatever you got here. Canned green beans.
Come on, somebody.
We should be that clear vessel.
Yeah.
That the Spirit of Jesus is in us, and they don't look at us, but they, like you said, they look through us.
Yeah.
To see the contents of what is being shown.
Forgive me for the reference, because I don't know.
Well, mine was just as bad.
No, I don't know who to give credit to, because I can't remember. But I talked a little bit about it last Wednesday night, just very briefly. The scripture in 1 Timothy that talks about being clothed in modest apparel, shamefaced and sobriety.
Yes.
Maybe I'm mixing a couple of passages there, but the purpose was not to draw attention to our physical assets, but it was to draw attention to the part of us that should reflect the glory of God.
Right.
The glory of God should radiate on our face, is what the author was trying to, the point the author was trying to make. And
exactly.
They were saying that when we dress in certain ways, or we act in certain ways, that it draws attention to other parts of our body or other parts of our life, instead of the most important part, which is the fact that we carry, when we have the Holy Ghost, we carry the glory of God with us.
Yes.
And so he was saying we don't want anything to detract from that glory of God that radiates upon us. Now, we have to be sure that whenever we're using it to promote, or we're using the spotlight to promote the gospel, whether it's social media spotlight, we have 1,000 followers on Facebook, or even let me even say that even if the church has 10,000 followers on Facebook,
right,
and the whole church is in the spotlight, what's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of the church? Is it so that you can get revenue from Facebook?
That's good.
Is it so that people can see how talented and skilled your music team is, or
exactly.
whatever? What's the purpose? Who is getting the glory? That is the question. Who's getting the glory? And when we use these platforms and the spotlight to propagate or promote the gospel, we have to make sure that we are not promoting or propagating the social gospel, but we are propagating the real gospel.
Yes.
Because the social gospel is not liberating. The real gospel is.
Yes.
Only the true gospel of Jesus Christ will liberate and set the world free, not the social gospel.
Man, that's good. And we have addressed a few of these for the next question, but we could maybe spit out a couple more. But could you help us identify some examples of biblical spotlights, whether they be good or bad, but maybe some pitfalls here?
Can we look at maybe just two? I don't want to take a whole lot of time. One successor of another king, the first king of Israel, and then the second king of Israel.
Yeah.
I think that they I think that they both started out the exact same way.
Agreed.
Humble.
Yes.
Sure of the fact only that only God could put them on the throne and only God could make them a king.
Yes.
So they were humble in that fact, Saul and David. And Saul reached the point where he said, I'm not waiting for Samuel. I'm going to sacrifice myself.
Yeah.
Not, that's funny. Sorry. He didn't say I'm going to sacrifice himself. He wasn't going to sacrifice himself. He was saying, I will make the sacrifice.
Yes.
Sorry. I will be the sacrifice, everybody. Just calm down. No. But he said, I'm not waiting on Samuel. He said he was going to be here in this many days, and he's not here.
Right.
So I'm going to do this thing myself because I'm tired of waiting.
I don't need Samuel.
Yeah. And then God says, I've rejected you from being king. You know, you're the king, but you can never be the priest.
Right.
You can never be the prophet over these people. You have no right to the priesthood. You have no right to any of this. So I made you king. Now I'm going to strip the kingdom from you.
Wow.
Now, fast forward.
Man.
I think David reached that same point.
Yeah.
Where he thought that as king, he could live and do whatever he wanted to do. He even made it convenient by sending everybody away.
Yeah.
Time when the kings went to war.
He stayed back.
He stayed back. There's nobody there. Okay, big dog, what you doing up on the roof?
Yeah.
You knew the David that fought Goliath would have barricaded that doorway that went to the roof.
Yes.
And said, okay, I'm not going up there.
Station guards and
yeah,
said,
that's right.
Don't let me pass, no matter what I say.
That's right. But maybe, and I don't know what happens in their life, but I can assume that being king over all of those people, oh man. Somebody mentioned George Washington last week. Maybe it was last week. Maybe it was Brother Caldwell.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the week before. I don't know. When George Washington
was this past Sunday.
When he led the army against Britain, against the Redcoats.
Yeah.
And he defeated them as the general of the Continental Army. He goes back home to his farm, and the people say, we want you to be our king.
Yeah.
And he says, we left England to come here.
Get away from it.
To get away from that idea of a king lording over us. And he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be your king. News got back to the King of England that George Washington had refused to be king over the people after leading them to such a great victory with nothing but farmers. That's what they were. I mean,
right.
Sure, they formed a militia and blah, blah, blah. They won. When the King of England heard that George Washington said, I will not be king over these people, the King of England said, that's the greatest man that has ever lived.
Yeah.
Because he refused to be king over them when they were wanting him to be king.
It's really incredible when you think about it.
It is. He said no. He refused. Okay, so Saul reached that point where he thought he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I am the highest authority in the land. I don't have to answer to anybody. There's nobody I'm accountable to.
I control everything.
Could it be that David reached that point too with Bathsheba?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
That he had reached that point. Now the difference in David and Saul is David was a man after God's own heart. And so when he messed up, he instantly repented when the word of the prophet came to him. That's always been amazing to me about the two men. Saul was no longer interested in the prophet. He never called for Samuel again. He was no longer interested in sacrifice after he messed up. But David, when he messed up and the prophet came to him, David not only hearkened to the words of the prophet, but David said, the judgment of the Lord is sure, it's right, it's true. I deserve everything that's coming to me. And he repented, he turned, He goes into his chamber. He's praying. He's asking God to forgive him. He's, created me a clean heart. On and on we could go. But what's amazing to me is that when David turned and became obedient again unto God,
yeah.
Fast forward, David names one of his kids Nathan.
Yes. Right.
Nathan was the prophet that came to him and said, "You're the man." Well, I feel like it impacted David to the point that David said, "This is going to stick with me forever." And when he got ready to name one of his kids, he said his name's going to be Nathan.
Yeah.
Because that's the moment that my life was changed. I saw myself slipping. I know that I was at that point where my life could have went either direction, but because he hearkened to the voice of the prophet who was the mouthpiece of God, David, even though he'd spent all these years in the spotlight, he still realized, okay, I may be the king of Israel, but I'm not the Lord of my life. I'm not the Lord over everything. That belongs to God.
Yeah.
And he brought his life back into balance, and instead of it destroying him, it made him the great king that we see him as.
Yes.
There were other kings that never failed God spiritually or morally, but we remember David because he did fail, but he turned back to God with his whole heart.
Yes.
So I think that the spotlight can be a pitfall if we allow it to go to our head.
Yes.
So
that's good though. That is a great analogy between the two.
I think, and I don't. Maybe I'll just wait till the next question.
Okay. What is the alternative to living? Or I guess what I should say is, what is a better or a more healthy alternative to living in the spotlight?
So, I would say, speaking on the positive side of it, don't be afraid of the spotlight.
That's good.
So, I was in a conversation a while back, and I heard a mature elder stop just short of rebuking a younger minister, because the minister said, if I was given this opportunity at this point in my life, I don't think that I would take it because I don't know if I'm mature enough to handle it.
Wow, that's good.
And the elder said, what if God had opened that door? He said, don't discredit yourself. He said, because
that's good too, though. Yeah.
You have looked at your life and you know the ins and outs of your own life. He said, so don't despise who you are in Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to preach like them. You're not going to teach like them. And you may be what they need for that hour.
That's good.
You may be what they need. So he said, don't say I'm not going to step in that spotlight. Don't say I'm not going to step through that door. He said, because the lights are going to be on you. He said, don't be afraid of the spotlight. Now, if I could just add a little caveat to that, don't be afraid of the spotlight. Just make sure you know they're not clapping for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you know that the applause is for Jesus and not for you.
I was about to use the clapping, but I thought that might be a little ironic. We'll go ahead. Just a little. Clap.
Just make sure they know that they're clapping for him, not you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if I'm preaching and if people ever start clapping, I'm going to stop talking. It's no sense in me continuing. I'm not trying to hype the crowd up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to communicate a message. Now, I understand that there's times that God's wanting to do something in that moment. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just because people have goosebumps running up and down their spine and up and down their arms and their legs and over their heads. Don't take advantage of that ability to hype the crowd up.
Right.
Is it so? If you feel the same thing in your church service, or okay, preacher, let's talk about it. If you feel the same thing when you're preaching as you do when you hear the national anthem,
ooh,
that's not anointing. That's not the Spirit of God that's coming upon you. That's an emotional rush.
But is it though? No.
That's an adrenaline rush that you're feeling in that moment. I cry when I hear the national anthem.
Yes.
I mean, right before they say play ball, I haven't been to a ball game in, Lord, 20 years. But before, when they sing that song, I'm going to cry like a baby because the camaraderie, the red blood in me begins to boil.
Yeah.
Because we are free Americans, and we're free because people have given their life. To make sure that we're free. And when I hear that, now if I'm in the pulpit preaching and I feel that same way, that would worry me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, this is not God, because I know I'm not feeling God when I'm listening to Home of the Brave.
I was going to say, and there
Star
may
Spangled
be
Banner.
There may be, like he was talking with the Spotlight. There may be a mixed signal there of the respect of the Spotlight being gone versus the fear of the Spotlight.
Yeah.
Because be afraid of it, but don't be so afraid that you can't be in the spotlight in the sense to where God can't use you, because maybe it's just your fear. I'm this way. I don't like change. I don't like new things. And then here this new thing gets pushed in your life and you're like, I don't want to.
Like you go from teaching a life class to the 12 and under, and then you go to teaching a life class to like the 20 and up. You mean like that?
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know why anybody would do that to you. If I ever meet that guy, I'm gonna have a talk with him when I get home. Don't worry.
Oh my God, that's great. But don't be so afraid of the spotlight, like you were saying, that you miss the ministry moment.
Yeah.
Here we are back to that.
Yeah.
Don't miss the ministry moment for the fear of the what if.
Yeah.
But also don't be so used to the spotlight that you lose the respect for the spotlight.
Don't be so used to the spotlight that you expect the spotlight.
Oh, that too. That's good.
Man. Ethan made me think of a podcast when you said the ministry moments.
Oh, okay.
So whenever we get to the end, I have a book and podcast recommendation.
Okay, go ahead. We're at the end.
And they're by the same guy.
Or whatever you got here.
Same person.
Go ahead.
All right. You said ministry moments, but Bishop Douglas White has a podcast called Ministry Matters.
I did not know this.
And it's excellent. It's so...
Instantly going to find this.
It's fabulous. So Ministry Moments... I'm sorry. Ministry Matters with Bishop Douglas White. That's the podcast. And then the book... What did we say the book was? He has quite a few. He has 6 or 7, 5 or 6. Several.
You said it was his very first book.
If I had to do it all over again, Bishop Douglas White. It's excellent. We actually have one of his sons with us this weekend.
Boom. I'm now following.
Yep. It's excellent. I mean, I think there's several. Let's see. There's already 14 episodes.
There was a bunch. And I bet they're amazing.
They are.
Fixing to go listen to them instead of my Wednesday night Bible teaching. No, I'm kidding. But for real though.
So if I see you with headphones in, I know what you're doing.
All righty. You got anything else for us, Pastor?
That's it.
Awesome.
I'm depleted.
The rest of the congregation can thank me later. I'm kidding.
I'm not that depleted.
Oh, okay. But thank you for joining us today. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're not on vacation.
Thank you for not permanently firing me.
Yeah. Not yet. But thank you all for joining us and being part of our podcast family. Thank you for being part of the kingdom of God. So go out there, share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and teach some Bible studies. God bless. We love you.